What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. I wanted to get this review out earlier over the weekend, but as I said in my Kalani review at the beginning, I kind of suffered a sty in my right eye. Basically, it was swollen and it was just not a pretty sight. It's still kind of swollen. You can probably still notice it, but nonetheless, it's Monday and it had to be done. It's back to work. So let's talk about Migos' new album, Culture. Remember when we all felt like Migos were done? Like they just hadn't produced a hit in a long time. Their album, their debut album, and then, mixtapes to follow were just, they were just okay at best. So a lot of people probably counting them out said they would never have another hit and that they would just kind of retreat into like the underground. Wrong. False. Bad and Boujee came. And it really took the internet by storm. It became a meme. It was just a sensation all over the internet. People were dubbing it over clips by Friends, the TV show. Just a bunch of stuff. Donald Glover was shouting it out. It just blew up. And to top it all off, it became a #1 hit single. It feels like Migos have never been bigger, so they're capitalizing in a timely fashion with their Culture album. Culture has some cool moments on it, but it took me a minute to really warm up to the music. I can't say that I'm the biggest Migos fan. I like a few songs here and there, but never a full project. I think Culture is an album that I digested a little bit more. I can't say I'm overly impressed with the lyrics, but there are times where they shine nicely. Although I will say that it feels like the flows, they tend to mask the lyrics. So if there's a bad verse, and if you really look at the lyrics, it's kind of masked by a great flow. That's one thing that you have to respect and compliment about Migos, is that they know how to do great flows. Now let's talk about my favorite song, starting off with the intro, Culture, featuring DJ Khaled. Is there a theory going around that DJ Khaled being on a song makes it better? If not, there should be. I think DJ Khaled always has this positive presence, and him coming on at the intro of this song and shouting out his catchphrases, talking about how they didn't want to see Migos win, they counted Migos out. It just fits the whole narrative of Migos being underrated and being, is underrated the word? I don't know if underrated is the word. It's more like they just were counted out. And so DJ Khaled comes on and says his piece, and then Migos get to work. The one thing on this song that is weird is they keep saying Culture is coming soon. And so I was like, that's just weird, because Culture is here. Culture is now. I'm listening to the album. So I went on Genius, and someone had an annotation that they believed this song was supposed to be on DJ Khaled's Major Key, and it all made sense. I don't know why the song didn't make that album, but I do know if you were going to include it on your album, why would you not want to clean it up? At least take out the Culture is coming soon part, because it's here. We know that. The next song on my list is DEADZ, featuring 2 Chainz. If for no other reason, 2 Chainz is why DEADZ makes the list. This guy just doesn't miss. And I feel like I say that sentence a lot, because every time he does a guest feature, it's really, it's strong. 2 Chainz just doesn't know how to give you a bad verse. And you're not going to get the best lyricism in the world, but you are going to be entertained, and I think 2 Chainz does that very well. Also, I have to give credit to Migos, specifically Quavo, for coming up with the phrase, count up the deads. It's just a better way to say I'm counting my money, as opposed to just coming out and saying that. I always applaud any creativity, because I know how difficult it is to talk about money. Or not difficult, but difficult to come up with creative ways to talk about money. You can sit here and talk about money on every song, but creativity is awarded, and so you got to give Quavo his credit for coming up with that phrase and using it. And one other thing about the record that I really enjoyed was the beginning part, the chant. It made the production, it just made it feel like it was going to be an anthem. It was going to be a hit record. I look at it like the beginning chant was building up to the song, and it just really served its purpose. The last record on my list is Kelly Price featuring Travis Scott. Now, I realize that all three of my favorites have features on them, but these guests really did their work. They really showed out. Like, how can you hate a Travis Scott verse where he talks about waking up with cocaine in his hair and thinking it's lice? Like, what kind of world is he in that he comes up with something like that? That is just a crazy display for Travis Scott to come up with. I will say that the ending is a bit much. This is the longest song on the album. It's over 6 minutes. And the last part is Quavo and Travis Scott slowing everything down and singing the hook. And it's just a bit much. It's like when R&B singers would do that, but R&B singers actually can sing. Quavo and Travis Scott, they just up the auto-tune, and it's just a little bit overbearing. So whenever that last part comes on, I tend to hit skip. Now let's talk about the bad songs. Brown Paper Bag. Whenever you have a record like DEADZ from earlier with 2 Chainz, anything less centered around money just won't cut it. I don't feel like this is the best Zaytoven beat, and certainly not the best concept overall. It's been done to death, and if nothing else, that is why this song is on my list. I just want to see that creativity that you get from DEADZ and from other songs on here, but Brown Paper Bag is just not one of those records. The other record on my bad list is All Ass. I might be alone in saying this, but I just didn't like this record. I feel like it takes a direct approach. It's the same, it suffers the same that Brown Paper Bag has. It's just too direct. We've had so many artists, so many songs about being in the strip club and all that, and I just want to see some creativity come from it. Now, I understand that this is not a record for me to listen to on my headphones or at the laptop when I'm just chilling at my house. It's designed for strip clubs, so it could very well have a splash and it could be a hit single in that circuit, but I just didn't enjoy listening to it myself. Culture is the most that I've gotten into Migos, like, ever. I feel like every album, every mixtape, every song I would listen, and it just kind of came and went for me. I look at some of these songs as keepers, ones that I'll be listening to throughout the year. I think for all the hype behind Migos and Bad and Boujee, that they were able to deliver the best possible outcome in terms of an album, in terms of the music that they can at this point in time. And I think they made sure that they timed it perfectly. I mean, Bad and Boujee is still big. It's still a hit single, so they didn't wait. They capitalized at the right moment. So those are my thoughts on Migos' Culture album. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at @SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.